Welcome. Our program is about to begin. Please find your seats and silence your electronic devices as a courtesy to our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome JobsOhio Board Chairman Josh Rubin.
Good morning. Welcome to the JobsOhio quarterly board meeting. It's great to be here today at the Battelle Science and Innovation Campus at Camp Kenjockety, and I want to thank everyone here for hosting us this morning. Let me also start by recognizing our fellow board member, Lori Gillette. Lori, I know you had a big piece of making all this happen, and I want to thank you for that and congratulate you on quite an accomplishment here. This is a wonderful place. Thank you very much. We know that many great minds will be coming through this place. These are the future leaders of Ohio, and they are going to come here to be inspired. And I can't think of a better place to come and talk about this past year and also think about next year. And hopefully we will leave here inspired as well. So again, thank you very much. We're honored today to be joined by Governor Mike DeWine. And I know the governor wants to talk about some of the great wins that we've had. Before I turn it over to him, I want to share one statistic with you. Our team has been reviewing some preliminary jobs data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And we know these numbers can change, but our team's reporting that through August, Ohio was responsible for 11% of the new private sector jobs created this year across the country. Let me repeat that. Ohio is responsible for 11% of net new private jobs created in the United States. Yeah. And we are only about, 3.5% of the population. So clearly we're punching above our weight. And Governor, I would say this is a testament not only to the work we're doing here at JobsOhio, but to the great work you and the First Lady and your team are doing to create a climate in Ohio where people can live, work, and thrive. Under your great leadership, great things are happening all across this state, and we want to thank you for all of your guidance and leadership. So with that, it's my honor to introduce our governor, Mike DeWine. Governor?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very, very much. That's frankly a stunning figure. I had not heard that figure, so thanks for sharing that.
Good stuff.
We'll continue to tell people about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's phenomenal. Let me first thank the board. I know we have three members who I'm looking at on the board there. Good morning, guys. Good to see you all. Just appreciate you doing this. This is, I hope it's a labor of love, but it makes a big difference. And for you to volunteer and to do this, the JobsOhio board, I think, has done a phenomenal job. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you and thank all the members of the board. It's a lot of work, but boy, is it just vitally important. I want to thank the JobsOhio leadership team, JP, you and the team. Many of the members who are out here, you guys are doing just a phenomenal job. Want to also thank Girl Scouts. We're at the Battelle Science Innovation Campus. We had a chance to walk around here a little bit and see some of the neat things that are going on, and so very important. This is just part of what's happening in Ohio as we work to try to make sure every Ohioan can live up to their full potential, and everybody has more opportunities. That's really what this state is about, and what this country is about is more opportunities. And the center is certainly all about that. I want to thank also the JobsOhio Network partner leaders who are here. I just appreciate all of what you do around the state of Ohio. I want a special thank you to Lake to Rivers Interim President Alexa. Alexa, you want to stand up? Thank you. You're just great. What amazing leadership that you have supplied, and we're just Lake to River. We just appreciate it very much. You can be very proud of I think everything that you've been able to do. Now I've lost my notes here, excuse me. You know, when we announced this region less than 2 years ago, Ashtabula, Columbiana, Mahoning, and Trumbull counties, we thought that was the right thing to do. We thought it was a part of the state that was unique and needed really its own zone. And what you have done is really, I think, proven that. Just a couple examples. Kimberly-Clark is investing $800 million in Warren and creating nearly 500 new jobs. JobsOhio Vibrant Community Grants, which are working all over the state, that are revitalizing downtown Youngstown, is one example, with support for the Youngstown Business Incubator, and they're transforming the historic district in East Liverpool. Valorec announced in November that it will create 40 new jobs, fortifying 800 existing jobs, and will also invest $48 million in Youngstown. Across the region, multiple Ohio site inventory grants are establishing the infrastructure and the spec buildings that will attract more companies in the future. More employers like Valorec looking to tap into the culture of builders and manufacturers in our Lake to River region. We also want to welcome Danny Robbins to the team. You want to stand up? Danny, thank you. Permanent CEO of Lake to River. We're glad to have you on the team. We have high expectations and, frankly, every reason to believe that we're going to continue to move forward in Lake to River region. But that momentum is, of course, not just in Lake to River. So far in 2025, JP tells me that JobsOhio has 329 projects and activity completions across the state. And it looks like we have a busy December as well, moving forward. Every one of these projects depends on reliable, affordable energy. And I want to talk a moment about energy. And first, thank the board for your decision to really invest in energy in the state of Ohio. I think it's your very correct realization that energy, making sure that we have the energy we need, we have it at an affordable rate, is vital to the future of the state of Ohio. Just a few weeks ago, JP and I announced the JobsOhio Energy Opportunity Initiative, a $100 million commitment to expand energy development and ensure that we have the power we need to sustain this historic economic growth. I want to especially thank the JobsOhio Board of Directors for approving the JobsOhio Energy Opportunity Initiative. This is a unique initiative. This is really a bold step, one that will strengthen our economic competitiveness for decades to come. Over the next 5 years, JobsOhio will make available energy incentives and talent services for economic development projects statewide, not only in our largest cities, but in every region of the state. This initiative will focus on a number of things: natural gas pipeline infrastructure, rights of way, site preparation for small modular reactors at SMR nuclear generation, water and transmission infrastructure upgrades, workforce curriculum development at technical schools and universities, and finally, supply chain for SMR manufacturing. JobsOhio's energy team will partner with each of the 7 regions to identify projects and companies that can take advantage of these tools. And we know this kind of teamwork works because it is the foundation behind some of the biggest wins in Ohio's history. Let's look at a few of the big ones. Anduril, with a $910 million investment and projecting 4,000 jobs by 2035. It's the largest job creation and new payroll project in Ohio's history. This is a company, frankly, that is all about the future of our national defense. And when you talk to the leaders of Anduril, it's just an exciting thing. They have a great vision. They're really reinventing how they serve our national defense team, and we're very, very proud of them. First Quality Tissue, another example, creating 400 new jobs and more than $22 million in annual payroll, the largest single investment in Defiance County's history. JobsOhio opening its new facility in Trotwood, near Dayton, in Trotwood, with 230 jobs and $12 million in capital investment. They chose Ohio. They chose Ohio for its first North American manufacturing operation for critical components to support the energy supply. We continue to see major expansions in Ohio. Amgen, Licking County, where they started a whole new industry in Ohio in 2021, with 400 jobs and invested $30 million, only to double their operation in 2025, adding 350 jobs and investing an additional $822 million. Centrus in Piketon, very, very excited about what we're seeing there. They're investing at least $1.5 billion as the first all-American uranium enrichment operation, adding 300 new operations jobs and 1,000 construction jobs. Kimberly-Clark, I already mentioned there, $800 million, nearly 500 new jobs, and how they are also looking to build distribution and logistics with 65 additional jobs and another $160 million in capital investment. Whirlpool in Clyde, Ohio, and in Marion, Ohio, investing $300 million, at least 448 new jobs to increase production capacity for the next generation of washers and dryers right here in Ohio. Great Day Improvements is adding 995 new jobs between Northeast Ohio and Southwest Ohio to expand their home improvement solutions manufacturing and provide an ideal location to distribute its products across North America. Across a diverse set of industries and across Ohio, in advanced aerospace and defense, biotech, energy, and manufacturing, the private sector is making it absolutely clear that they believe in Ohio. They believe in our workforce. They believe in our business climate. And I think the results clearly show that. We have earned a top 3 national ranking in Site Selection's Governor's Cup, both per capita and total projects, every year since our administration began. And we're the only state that can say that, the only state that can say that. Meanwhile, we have 20 Ohio communities ranked among the top 100 nationally. Looking back to 2018, before our administration began, Ohio ranked 15th in CNBC's top states for business. In 2025, we achieved our best ranking ever, number 1 in the Midwest, and number 5 nationally. So a remarkable achievement, remarkable progress. And again, I want to thank JobsOhio, the whole team, for making this happen. This is truly our time. It's truly Ohio's time in this country. It's the moment for which I think will be remembered. Our communities are rising, innovation is accelerating, and year after year we're celebrating the biggest wins in our history as a state. Ohio is the place to lead, to live, and to grow. These wins, these real measurable wins, are the product of the hard work, the grit, the determination of Ohioans who are rebuilding industry right here in the heart of it all. Again, I just appreciate everyone's leadership. I know you had a good session yesterday. Josh was telling me about that. I know that today will be good as well. I want to conclude by making a couple additional comments about where we're going as a state. And I've had the opportunity to, of course, live in Ohio my entire life, but in the last 7 years, really been immersed in economic development and immersed in what it takes for Ohio to move forward. Next week, I was asked to join the Governor's Forum on Reading at the George W. Bush Institute in Dallas. And I'll be on a panel. The topic is the power of governors to lead on reading. power of governors to lead on reading. So I look at the big picture in Ohio. We have spent a lot of time focused on reading. The last 14 months of my administration, we're going to continue to do that. Reading is clearly the key for someone to live up to their God-given potential. And although someone can learn to read at any age, we know that what happens in the early grades, preschool, early grades, 1, 2, 3, 4, is really vitally important to whether young people will be able to read. If I look at where Ohio is, maybe pull back a moment, 2025 in this country, and our data will mirror this country's data to a great extent. This is the first time in over 60 years when we've seen a decline in the immigrant population. First time in 60 years. Very significant decline. And all indications would be that as we close this year, we're going to continue to see that. As we go into 2026, we're going to see that continue to go down. At the same time, in Ohio, but also across the country, we have a birth rate that is not a replacement birth rate. We're at roughly 1.6. So as we look to the future in Ohio, and I don't have to tell anybody on this board, nor do I have to tell anybody at JobsOhio, but when we're closing deals, whether it's talking to companies about staying in Ohio and expanding in Ohio, whether we're talking about retention, or whether we're talking about getting a company to come in from California or come in from New York or come in from somewhere else, we all know the final hurdle that we have to get over. And the final hurdle always is the same, and that is, will you have the employees we need? Will they have the skill sets? And it runs everything from one company that the final hurdle is how many PhDs in chemistry do you produce in Ohio every year, to others about, how strong are your community colleges? How strong are your high schools? But it's always about people. We're close enough to Columbus to quote Woody Hayes, you win with people. And that's how Ohio is going to win in the future. But we're in a very interesting period of time with the available workforce in raw numbers going down. And it's going to continue to go down with the declining population. And again, this is the first year in 60 years we've seen declining immigrant population in this country, and with every expectation that will continue to go. So what is the answer to that? The answer is very clear. The answer is that we cannot waste anybody in Ohio. From the first grader who needs to learn how to read to someone coming out of prison, one to the other, we can't waste anybody. And we need everybody, frankly, on the team. One of the first things we did when I took office was a project led, as you know, by my wife, Fran. And her vision and her goal was to bring the Dolly Parton Imagination Library to the state of Ohio for every child in the state of Ohio. It was in pockets of Ohio, but not available. As most of you know, it's a free book in the mail to children between the age of from birth until the age of 5. We now in Ohio, every child is eligible from birth until 5. I don't care where you live in the state of Ohio, they are now eligible. We're about 62% of the eligible children who are now signed up. That's over 400,000 books going out every single month to children all across the state of Ohio. We did something several months ago that no other state has done, no other state that has a Dolly Parton Library. And that is, we provided that when someone goes to the hospital, and Fran, I've been through this experience a few times, when you go to the hospital and have a baby, there's forms to fill out. And so now one of the questions, very easily question you can just check, and that is, do you want your child to get the Dolly Parton Imagination Library book? And so we're starting now to see a significant increase in the number of children who are signing up. And so that is, we have every hope that is going to continue. The science of reading, which I think is why the Bush Institute wanted me to come down, the science of reading, we have made some major progress. What we've learned is, and it really started with work we did with children with dyslexia and identifying them early. Ohio's doing a much better job identifying them. We're doing a much better job getting them the help that they need. And one of the things that we've learned, and one of the things the evidence shows, is the science of reading, basically sounding words out. It's much more sophisticated than that, but that's the essence of it, or the basics of it, is the way everybody learns to read. We know some kids are just going to read. They're not going to have a problem. We also, many kids are going to struggle. And using the science of reading is certainly the way to go. And so we have now mandated that across the state of Ohio. And it's kind of like turning around a big ship. It's not as fast as you would like to get it turned around. But we've paid for teachers to get the training that they need. And Fran and I continue to go out into the schools and encourage the schools to do this. But reading is the key to success in school, and it's also the key to success in life. And we're not where we need to be yet. And if we really want every Ohioan to live up to their God-given potential, we have to continue to focus on that. So I appreciate the work that you all are doing. Again, I think all of us have to focus on this. Part of it is a culture change. We have families that aren't reading. We have also, we're told, people reading less today. But if we look at the preparation of jobs and you talk to employers, one of the things that they talk about is people not having the basic skill sets they need in regard to reading and not having basic skill sets in regard to math. And so we've got to stay focused on that. And so my commitment to this board is that we're going to continue to do that because it's by far the most important thing that we can do. We can't waste any Ohioan. What we want for our kids, Fran and I want for our kids, now what we want for our grandkids is for every child to live up to their full potential, every child to find something that they get excited about. When they get up in the morning, they want to work. We're seeing that in our career tech schools with amazing results. Matt Dolan is here. When he played a major role in getting that when he was in the legislature. We're focused on keeping our kids in Ohio. One of the things that we asked the legislature to do is to, with the top 5% of the graduating classes in high school across the state, whether it's in a small community or a large community, we're now giving a $5,000 scholarship per year up to 4 years, $20,000 extra money for scholarship, and they can take that to any school in the state of Ohio. Again, that's another effort to keep more of our talent in the state of Ohio. So look forward to continuing to work with you on that. But I just wanted to close my remarks on that. It is our challenge. It is our biggest challenge. It's also, frankly, our biggest opportunity to really move the needle in regard to the number of people who are prepared to go to work. That's what we have to continue to focus on. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. We appreciate your commitment to education and workforce. We all know that we have a big gap in terms of trying to make sure the folks are educated and trained to fill all the jobs that we have. And reading is obviously a huge part of that, making sure that folks are prepared for their future. And we will accept the challenge that you have laid down here. And as a board, and with all of our partners, we will do what we can to see what we can do to help. So we will take that head on. So thank you very much, and thanks for joining us today. With that, we'll move to our next agenda item, which is to approve our minutes from the August 28th meeting. Those minutes have been distributed, and I would ask if any board members have any additions or edits to the minutes. Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The minutes from August 28th are approved. Thank you. Our next agenda item is to turn it over to our CEO, JP Nassif, for our president's report. JP?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Governor DeWine, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate your leadership and your presence here today as an indicator of the support you provided to the work that this team does for economic development, and we're very grateful for that. Also, welcome to our JobsOhio Network presidents and just the outstanding team of colleagues at JobsOhio. Just a pleasure to get to work with all of you. You are the best in the business, so thank you all very much. And Director Gillette, yeah, let's give him a hand. I agree with that. An incredible facility, very symbolic, Director Gillette. Thank you for bringing us here and encouraging us to come here. This is not just a facility, it's a place where Ohio's workforce pipeline begins to talk about workforce. Right here, young women learn about engineering, robotics, advanced manufacturing, the skills that we need to fill all these jobs that you heard the governor reference. And they're going to power the industries of tomorrow for our state and for the country. And the Girl Scouts' recent campaign created the motto, Dream Big. What an appropriate motto as we sit here today and talk about economic development. It's a reminder to us as a team and as Ohioans that we have to continue to dream big and believe so that we can continue to capture this generational opportunity as our state has emerged as an economic development leader. Today we'll present a video of the progress that you all have made working together over the past year, and 2025 has been quite a transitional year. New administration in Washington, a new lieutenant governor in Ohio, 2 new U.S. senators in Ohio. So much change, and with it comes so much opportunity. I want to take a moment to share the observations we've made as a team, JobsOhio has made, based on all these changes and their impact on Ohio. The governor referenced population, and it is a core. It creates the workforce. It's the feedstock. But there are some early indicators that we're turning a corner, and we need to do much more. For decades, Ohio's population migrated south and west. In fact, in 1970, Ohio had 24 U.S. representatives in our congressional delegation. Today, we have 15. Compounding the situation, globalization and trade agreements drove Ohio's industry base south of borders and across oceans. But thanks to the grit and innovative spirit of Ohioans, they elected leaders that were innovative, forward-thinking, and enacted business-friendly policies. And our state is beginning to see the impact of that. Population growth in the critical age group, 25 to 44 years old. We're seeing the first sustained positive net in-migration of population since the 80s. Young professionals and families are not flying over Ohio. Instead, they're choosing Ohio to live their own version of the American dream. Ohio's momentum is not confined to just 1 or 2 of our regions. You all know Ohio is a very unique state of city-states represented by our regional partners. The momentum has been statewide, in particular over the last 6 years. Cincinnati's outpaced the state's GDP growth by 24%. The Dayton region is the 3rd hottest emerging tech market in North America. Findlay is the #1 micropolitan in America for 11 straight years. Toledo was named the #1 city for business by the Financial Times. Southeast Ohio saw a 122% increase in projects, and Team NEO, Northeast Ohio, and Lake to River are accelerating. Central Ohio saw a 500% increase in capital investment since 2019, and the RGP, led by Dean Monsky, who's with us today, saw significant investments from Stellantis, Whirlpool, and First Quality Tissue this year. The DDC, led by Jeff Hoagland, The governor mentioned Westraffo, Sierra Nevada is expanding, and Joby Aviation has expanded to a new business line with a new customer and a new partner at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. One Columbus, led by interim CEO Matt McAllister, saw phase 2 of the Amgen project and the announcement of Anduril, the largest job-creating project in Ohio history. Ohio Southeast, led by Matt Abbott, saw a strategic mega energy project with Centrus. But I think more importantly, showed leadership and dedication from Team Ohio as Ohio Southeast suffered a loss of a major legacy employer with Pixel, formerly Meade, in Chillicothe. The team rallied, led by the governor, Senator Marino, Senator Husted, the county, the city, across party lines. When Ohioans needed us, we rallied together as a team. That's why we're successful. Ready, Cincinnati, led by Kim Louderback, saw GE Aerospace establish an R&D center and British Airways expand major international service to London. Team NEO, led by Matt Dolan, rallied around NASA Glenn to attract nuclear power missions, building on a historic legacy in a highly strategic sector. And of course, Lake to River, you heard the governor reference Lake to River. We have a transition there led by Alexa, but during her very brief tenure, very important tenure, Kimberly Clark, and a significant expansion from energy giant Valorec. Ohio's private employment increased over 67,000 through August, which is, you heard the chairman reference this, more than Florida, more than North Carolina, and more than Indiana and Kentucky combined. Ohio is exceeding maybe everyone else's expectations, but not ours. Total payroll growth has been more than 3 times as strong as the U.S. clip this year. The federal government shutdown created the absence of jobs data over the last couple of months, but based on the jobs data released by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics in September, the year-to-date through August, Ohio was responsible, as you heard from the chairman, 11% of U.S. private sector growth. And again, for reference, we're just south of 3.7% of the nation's population. Ohio is now number 6 in CNBC's Tech and Innovation Index, 6th most industrial diverse economy in the U.S., 5th most Fortune 500 headquarters, and tied for first in the Midwest for R1 research institutions. And since 2019, Ohio has grown its venture capital every consecutive year and is number 1 in the Great Lakes region for venture capital 6 consecutive years. This is what a dynamic economy looks like, one that is modern, resilient, and gaining speed. And as an organization entrusted with a responsibility so important to Ohioans, transparency is at the heart of what we do. As a private not-for-profit, JobsOhio continues to rank in the top 1% of not-for-profits for transparency. 8 consecutive years. We share more information than is required of us. We make it easy to find, but we share enough, but not too much where we surrender the competitive advantage of being private so we can continue to produce these great results that Ohioans deserve and should expect from us. It's part of our foundation. Looking ahead, transparency is a core pillar of our 2030 strategy, and our goal is simple. We want Ohioans to see the return on investment of the dollars that you've entrusted us to invest. Ohio is emerging as a biotech and pharma contender. It's not all going to North Carolina and Boston. This is a $1.1 trillion global industry, and Ohio's 7 R1 research institutions are creating a living laboratory attracting the major global players. You heard about Amgen in Central Ohio, Charles River, MedPace, Andelin Biosciences, all expanding in Ohio. And at the last board meeting, JobsOhio announced a biomanufacturing workforce training center with a hub and spoke model serving every corner of Ohio to build the workforce capacity to fill these important and highly competitive jobs that will keep Ohio competitive. This year, national rankings validated what Ohioans already know. Ohio has become an economic powerhouse again. Number 5 in CNBC's top states, the highest ever, up from 7 years ago. Number 1 in infrastructure for the 3rd consecutive years, a leading economic indicator for the future. Number 2 in cost of doing business. Number 1 state in the Midwest for doing business. Number 3 nationally, as you heard from the governor in the Governor's Cup, and the only state to be in the top 5 for total projects and per capita projects every year. No other states do that. Some come, some go. We're in there every year because you all roll up your sleeves. Ohioans roll up their sleeves and get the job done. And a AAA bond rating from all 3 major credit agencies for the first time ever in Ohio's history. Now we'd like to play a quick video put together by our team. It's a hype video that we use to share our results, but also share it to external parties that may not really understand the Ohio that we know, that we see, and that we're promoting. So please run the video. Thank you.
We've had huge victories. Ask the other states. Everybody is envious.
This probably is not a greater moment in our state than we've had in hundreds of years.
Ohio is really the only place where at scale, where you can dream it, create it, manufacture it, test it, and deliver it to your customer. Ohio, by virtually every measure, is on a significant resurgence and experiencing momentum all across the state.
I am sick and tired of losing to these other states. I don't want to lose to friggin' Ohio anymore.
Now that Ohio has emerged as a national economic development leader, we're in position to accelerate this collective success. An Ohio supersector is a dynamic economic cluster where several high-growth industries converge.
We're adding a brand new tool that will help Ohio employers widen the aperture on their recruiting playbook. It's called the JobsOhio Relocation Incentive.
JobsOhio has committed to make up to a $30 million investment over the next 5 years for the launch, operation, and scaling of a flagship training center here in Central Ohio.
I'm announcing the creation of the JobsOhio Energy Opportunity Initiative. JobsOhio is dedicating $100 million to expand access to natural gas and nuclear power.
JobsOhio is extremely flexible. That flexibility was critical in the decision-making process.
There is a lot of momentum happening in Ohio. We're going to build on success here.
Working with JobsOhio, it was a really great process. And it made it very easy for us to make that decision to be in Ohio.
made us feel right at home in Ohio.
Governor, members of the board, we mentioned the significant amount of change that occurred in 2025 with our state leadership and with our leadership in Washington, but we've also had significant transition with our network partners. We've got several new leaders of our network partnership that have transitioned in the last 18 months. And I also want to extend my gratitude to Alexa and welcome to Danny. And I also want to acknowledge that we still have challenges, significant challenges. And we need to and we will continue to work in constructive ways to address them because that's what we do. But it's important for us to acknowledge that the conversation about Ohio has changed and the reality on the ground has changed. Ohio and Ohioans have done what they have always done, rolled up their sleeves, found a way, innovating and rebuilding an economic development ecosystem that's diverse, dynamic, and the world's taking notice. And 2025 was a historic year, as you saw in the beginning, you saw in the video, but we truly believe this is just the beginning of what is to come. So, members of the board, Governor DeWine, and esteemed colleagues, this concludes my report.
Thanks, JP. Great report. Obviously, a lot of really good stuff going on, and I will share today. So last night, after our board meetings all day, we had a great dinner with our regional network partners, and somewhat jokingly, but you can learn a lot, I asked all of the folks at dinner to stand up and make some crazy prediction about what might happen in 2026. And I was pretty inspired by some of the things that were said that might happen in 2026, even though they might be a little crazy. But it was we got answers, everything from sports, but a lot about economic development and things that we might see. And, you know, when you start to say these things and you start to hear them and you start to believe them, they can happen. So we just have all kinds of great stuff going on. And again, Governor, thank you. A lot of it's to your leadership and the climate that you're creating across the state. So thank you. Time for our committee reports. All of these wins take a lot of work, and there's a lot of blocking and tackling that goes on. And our committee chairs lead this effort each and every day as we try to work with our staff and make sure that we are on top of all of the different things that we need to be working on. So with that, we'll turn it over to our Compensation Workforce Chair, Rick Platt. Rick, please give us an update.
Thanks, Chair Rubin. The committee devoted a majority of its time in our blocking and tackling at last month's meeting, reviewing data, a lot of data, and engaging in extensive discussion on the annual recommendations to the board related to the compensation of our executive and non-executive employees of JobsOhio, as well as the annual performance review and compensation of the president and CEO. The discussions included the corporation's outside independent compensation consultant, the Newport Group. That concludes my report.
Thanks, Rick. Any of the board members have any questions for Rick? Okay, thank you. And again, Rick, thanks for chairing that and for your leadership there. As you have heard today, we have quite a bit going on in terms of the incentives and programs that we're working on with companies. And John Bishop heads up our investment committee. John, could you give us a report?
Sure will, Mr. Chairman. The committee met twice this quarter, with the minutes of the previous meeting being reviewed and approved. This quarter, the committee reviewed and approved or recommended nearly $64 million in incentives in 12 core economic development projects. The companies involved in those projects would commit to create or retain at least 9,265 total jobs, with an associated payroll of $534 million. In addition, those same companies will make capital investments of almost $1.23 billion in Ohio. Also during the quarter, the committee recommended and the full board later approved amendments to 2 major marketing contracts for services promoting Ohio, as well as updates to the guidelines for the Jobs Ohio pre-project planning grant program, which is unique. In addition, the committee received updates on several recent project decisions and had several discussions of possible new economic development opportunities in the near future. Finally, at last month's meeting, the committee received the quarterly reports from the corporation's outside investment portfolio advisors. With that, Mr. Chairman, with that summary, I conclude my report.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John? Okay. Lori Gillette, the chair of our audit committee, was also very busy over the last quarter. Would you give us a report, Lori?
Thank you. The audit committee met twice this quarter, approving the minutes of each previous meeting as the first item of business. This past Monday, the committee discussed with management and representatives from the Ohio Auditor of State's office the fiscal year 2025 Compliance and Control Review Report, prepared by Deloitte, Jobs Ohio's firm of independent public accountants. The Ohio Auditor of State is required by Ohio law to participate in the development of the review program and examines the work once it's complete. Again this year, the report reinforces Jobs Ohio's strong compliance culture and dedication to having and following established policies and processes. There were a total of 51 agreed-upon procedures, including 133 subparts, that were reviewed and involved the participation of several functional areas of the corporation. Deloitte made no material findings in their review. 6 minor exceptions and 3 procedure subparts were noted. Following the presentation and discussion by committee members, the committee approved the fiscal year 2025 Compliance and Control Review Report as presented and directed it to be posted on Jobs Ohio's website. At its meeting in October, the committee received and discussed the financial audit of the corporation for fiscal year 2025, the final such financial audit conducted by Deloitte. Deloitte issued unqualified, clean opinions for both Jobs Ohio and the Jobs Ohio beverage system. Overall, the report reflects a very good audit cycle with no recorded or unrecorded misstatements, classifications, or disclosure items during the audit. The committee also received and discussed the annual compliance report from Claudia Harrington, Jobs Ohio's Managing Director for Enterprise Risk. This included an update on the progress of year-end ethics and cyber training and a detailed report on overall enterprise risk management activities achieved during the past quarter. Finally, members of the Jobs Ohio accounting team provided detailed financial information to the committee for both the previous quarter and fiscal year to date, as well as detailed budget to actual reviews of expenditures and revenues for the same periods. And with that summary, Chairman Rubin, I conclude my report.
Thank you, Lori. Any questions for Lori? Okay. The executive committee, which I chair, also met during the quarter. As is usual, we talk a lot about what's going on in all the committees. All the committee chairs give their reports. And we also talk about the economic conditions in Ohio, as well as nationally, and talk through several of the projects that are in the pipeline or that we are working on. And so that concludes my executive committee report. Any questions for me? Okay, nobody wants to ask any questions. They're sitting here looking at these Girl Scout cookie boxes, and it's hard to concentrate when they're just sitting there. With that, we will move to our closing remarks, and we'll start with our colleagues that are online. Dr. Thornton, if it's okay, I'll start with you. Oh, wait, hold on. Muted.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I attended the meetings yesterday and gained a lot of insight, certainly about our going forward. With Jobs Ohio securing and retaining more than 25,000 jobs for Ohioans in 2025, it is amazing. But it's also a testament to our workforce training and education, which are even more important to us as we recruit new people to Ohio, as well as train our own population for the jobs that exist. Jobs Ohio is supporting these new and innovative jobs in many, many ways, including relocation incentives, the new biomanufacturing workforce training center, and the AI Ready Ohio partnership. But what I really gleaned from the meetings was the emphasis on partnerships, partnerships for training and entrepreneurial ways in which we are approaching getting a workforce ready. We are working with our companies, and the alliances are strong and they are making a difference. Some of the key takeaways that I picked up is that Jobs Ohio is closely aligned with our businesses, and that's a big difference in our going forward. Jobs Ohio understands the value and benefits of driving outcomes through business collaboratives. And that was really a takeaway for me that I know, but is a good reminder of what we do in Ohio to win.
Thank you, Dr. Thornton. Tom Williams?
You're muted.
You're muted, Tom.
I assume I'm not on mute? Okay.
You're good now.
JP and his team continue to propel the state into the top business rankings. We are the #1 state in the Midwest and ranked #5 nationally for doing business, according to both CNBC and Area Development. We're the second most affordable state in the U.S. for doing business. And we're 3rd ranked in the U.S. for total economic development projects and projects per capita. And we've remained steady as the only state in the top 5 in both categories for the past 7 years. So there's a tremendous tribute and testament to JP and the work his team has done.
Thank you, Tom. John?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I just add a few brief comments to much of the very significant statistics that we've already heard. But earlier, a few minutes ago, I reported on the quarter, but I think it's important to note that we're almost through 2025. And through, I guess, 11 months, through Jobs Ohio projects, more than $4.7 billion in new capital investments have been made in Ohio. And we still have a month left, and frequently the last month of the year is very busy. I think it's also important to note that since 2019, which is roughly 5 years back, Jobs Ohio has secured $87 billion with a B dollars in total commitments to the state. That is reflective of much of those great statistics we've already heard about. I guess finally, as JP mentioned in his report, we believe in being a very transparent organization. I think for us to enhance our credibility, you have to be. And we continue to place our monthly metrics on our new enhanced website. If you haven't looked at it, I'd encourage you to do so. You can also find every investment we've made and committed dating way back to 2015 when we were really getting off the ground. That's our commitment to transparency, which I think is very credible. And that's all the comments I have, Chairman.
Thanks, John, and thanks again for your work on the investment committee and bringing up the transparency issue. It's very important. Rick?
It's another upbeat meeting, a lot of takeaways. I guess I'll share a couple. Here we are at the Girl Scout STEM Center. In the lobby, a placard says STEM, giving girls the know-how to build the future. That's so crucial. STEM skills are key for our super sectors and most of all for our quantum sector, I'll call it, the common denominator of all of our sectors, and that's manufacturing. And when I think of these things, STEM, inspiring young women, manufacturing, I think of Ariel's Karen Wright. We lost Karen recently. She was really a titan in Ohio manufacturing. She was a mom first and a CEO second. Though we've lost her, she remains an inspiration. That's my thoughts.
Thank you, Rick. Lillian?
Thank you. Good morning. I would like to say that thank you to Lori for hosting us here. As a young woman who benefited from STEM and became an architect through a place similar to this, but not as extraordinary as this. It's just an honor to be here. I want to thank you for your leadership for making this happen. I understand the importance as a woman in a field like this, how extraordinary what you have accomplished here is. As the newest board member, I continue to be deeply impressed by the meaningful progress and the measurable impact happening across our state due to the work of JobsOhio and the many partners here in the room today and others. I want to share a few exciting results relative to young professionals that I believe are a testament to the results of the job creation and job growth across the state. From 2020 to 2023, across 85 of the 88 counties in Ohio, the population of adults ages 20 to 44 has increased. This means that talent, new families, and new energy are choosing to put down roots in our communities. This is not just in one region. This is everywhere across our state. And I don't believe this is a coincidence. For the first time in more than 40 years, Ohio is experiencing a net immigration. People are not leaving Ohio, they are coming to Ohio. They are coming for these jobs and for the quality of life. And I know the Clevelanders here know we love our quality of life. It's an extraordinary state to live in. And in fact, the rest of the country is taking notice of these statistics. In 2024, 6 cities in Ohio claimed the top 20 rankings relative to young professionals, more than any other state. And I want to say, as I looked at this, it's not just buried in the top rankings. Cincinnati was number 1. Dayton was number 4. Columbus was number 5. Toledo was number 12. Cleveland was number 17, and Akron was number 19. Young professionals are coming to Ohio. These are in the top 20 rankings. It's extraordinary. And finally, I want to close by saying I don't believe these are just numbers. They're actually proof of momentum, proof that Ohio is becoming a destination for young professionals. And for families who are looking for a place to put down their roots and thrive, this is why we do what we do. And so I want to thank you to the governor, to this world-class JobsOhio team, and to my esteemed fellow board members for your leadership and vision that has created the condition for these kind of results. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Lillian, and we should also give a round of applause to our friend Phil Greenberg. These numbers don't happen just coincidentally. He has spent a lot of time and effort trying to attract young people to this state, and he's done a great job with it. So thank you, Phil. Did I embarrass you, Phil? Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the Girl Scouts of Ohio, Battelle, for hosting us here today. And until recently, I really didn't know about the important role that Lori played in all of this. So thank you, Lori. Certainly thanks to the governor for his support and for being here today. I want to stick with the theme of the rankings and the stats because it's a good news message that is important that we continue to get out there. And some of these are I'm kind of passionate about myself. We're the 6th most industrial, diverse economy in the nation and home of the 5th most Fortune 500 company headquarters. Ohio now has 7 Carnegie R1 research universities, which is tied for number 1 in the Midwest. Cincinnati's ranked number 4, Cleveland number 6 for U.S. in tech talent. Ohio's CNBC Best States Tech and Innovation ranking in 2025 is number 6. It's our highest ranking ever. And none of these happen by coincidence, luck, chance. It's because of a team that's been working together in a business model that's envied by every other state in the country. And because of the people in this room, JP, you and your team, the best of the best. Our regional partners, of course, thank you for being here and what you do every day, and our partnerships from across the state. It's the trend is unbelievable, and want to spread the good news message to everyone else, because 2026 is going to be a fantastic year. So in the meantime, Merry Christmas to all, Happy Holidays, and have a great New Year and a great 2026.
Thanks, Scott. Lori.
Thank you. As a proud Girl Scout, I also want to take time just to thank Tammy Wharton. She's the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Ohio's Heartland, and her team for hosting us here today. This campus is absolutely beautiful. So for those of you that are on the call that haven't been here yet, you have to make the trip. It's at Camp Kinjockety, and Battelle, just, their gracious efforts for the Science and Innovation Campus. And then also, I want to thank, it's Tammy and her team. They're the ones that had the vision to build this facility. This is only the second, at the time, this was only the second facility of its type to be built like this in the country. So again, of course it's in Ohio, and of course it was Tammy and her team that had that vision. So I want to say thank you to them. The facility, I was talking to some folks today. I mean, it serves an incredible function for all Ohioans. I mean, obviously for Girl Scouts, but anyone can come and utilize this facility. And I want to point out that this facility is where our next generation of future leaders is going to come from. So their effort and the Girl Scouts' focus on helping to fill the STEM gap, it's going to happen right here in our community. The STEM careers that folks can train on here are everything from hands-on welding. They can climb a power pole like an AEP line person would do. They can learn engineering, all kinds of innovation that can take place in hands-on learning on this campus. And when the space was built, it was built to be flexible, and it was built to be in line with the in-demand jobs in Ohio. So as those continue to change and evolve, this facility can evolve to support how they're training the folks that come through the facility. So I just want to close by saying it's necessary. I think we've all been saying this today, to continue the momentum that we're experiencing. And the statistic that I wrote down that I wanted to talk about today is just like this jumping to number 6 recently on CNBC's Tech and Innovation ranking. I think that's a good statistic to point out as we're talking about, filling these STEM careers, and the governor said, just what we're doing to grow Ohio. So thank you, Chairman. And again, another good round of board meetings.
Thank you, Lori. JP?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What an incredible time of year. Some call it the most wonderful time of the year. It's sandwiched in between the season of thanks and the season of hope. So looking at our team, a lot of the team is right here, starting with the board. I'm thankful for this team. The administration, represented by the governor, the board of volunteers that come and donate their time, their expertise, their credibility to what we do. Our network partners who represent every corner of the state, and the incredible colleagues that I get to work with. I'm thankful for that, and I'm hopeful that sitting here in this facility, I'm hopeful that we continue to dream big and not let cynicism take over, even during challenging times. Mr. Chairman, coming off of a very interesting year with sound, excellent results, I'm thankful, I'm hopeful that we will continue to dream big. Thank you.
Thanks, JP. Very well said. This brings us to the end of the board meeting. I want to share all of my colleagues' sentiments here. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate all the work that you put in. We hope you all have a very happy and healthy holiday season. Be safe. And we can't let this board meeting close without a Go Bucks and an OH. We are adjourned. Thank you.